Hey guys, so here I am. I know it's been a while. I'm back for now. I just wanted to give you guys um, a more clear update on, first of all, I'm good. I'm doing well. I'm blessed. I'm a unilung. And it's pretty surreal. Um, and I'm just falling into a tremendous place of gratitude right now. Due to some things that happen, which I will explain, but I don't want to make a huge long video, um, so I'm gonna try to keep it under 10 minutes. So I go in, I have sit with my mom up until the last minute. Her and my daughter rotated between the two in the back before the surgery. They bring me back. Next thing I know, I'm waking up. Everybody was real comforting. They explained everything they were gonna do. The whole anesthesia process. I woke up and I remember asking the doctor, did you take it out? And he said, yeah, but you need radiation. And the reason why I remember that is because the last time they woke me up for my first surgery, they hadn't got it. They hadn't done anything. They had opened me up, saw what was in there, and closed me back up. So I remember that, and then, I was in and out of it. When I first woke up, it was weird because I didn't feel like, oh my God, I can't breathe. Like, I was able to breathe. There wasn't much of a difference. So make a long story short, and I can't tell you how we got here or really what really happened in between. I remember they brought me up. I came up to see my family. I don't know if a day passed and it was the next day or what, but all I know is I remember speaking to somebody on my team, and the next thing I know, she's like, everybody's panicking, they're going hysterical. I'm fading out. That's all I kept saying was, I'm fading out. Stop, don't stop talking to me. Like they're saying, keep talking to me, Shona. Keep talking to me, Shona. So then I kind of remember them saying they were taking me back in. I don't really remember. But from the outside, I'm going to tell you, they brought me back in. I was internally bleeding to death because taking a lung out with that lining is such a large surface area. The blood doesn't clot like it would on like a scab or a cut that hits air. It's such a large area, so basically scraping this huge entire area. And I had already bled in surgery the day before, and they had given me transfusions. During this time, I'm still kind of out of it. I don't really even know what's going on. So go to second surgery. That was what was happening. I was told today that at that point, I was in critical condition. I received 6 units of blood in there. What they do is they end up going in there and like cleaning all the blood that's out of there and basically like wiping down the surface of the wound, and then usually that will help. But basically I was bleeding to death internally. I really didn't even find that out until today. My team, we went back over everything that's happened, so it's been really traumatic. I'm sure my family was terrified. Then I came out of that surgery, and what's weird is that going into that, I was tripping, like tripping, and it could have been because of low blood. Could have been by the heavy amounts of anesthesia, the heavy amounts of whatever, drugs that they use to put you down. But I thought that they had took me outside into another building and that they were giving me like a bootleg surgery. And I'm looking around, I'm like, you guys are not really surgeons. Where am I? And they're telling me I'm at MD Anderson. I'm like, you're lying. I'm not at MD Anderson. This is fake. And they're trying to put the mask on me, and I'm like, it's fake. It doesn't even work. And then the next thing I know, I hear somebody say, I'm gonna pull this tube out of your throat. and I reached up. I thought I felt the tube. I thought I pulled it out myself, but I must have been like in and out of sedation right there at the ending, or maybe I was, or maybe I wasn't. I don't even know. I made it out of there, thanks by the grace of God. Um, and then after that was when the real roller coaster of healing began. So of course, as you can imagine, there's going to be heavy duty pain medicine. At that point, I had already had many pints of blood. I still had a bleeding problem, so I was still being transfused, transfused platelets, transfused plasma, many units of blood. Basically, as many as you can give safely, I got. Eventually, that kind of tickered off. I still have a low blood count, but it's stable. Within those days, I fell into a very confused state. I was very suspicious of the people and places and things around me. I thought that I was gonna die, that I wasn't being taken care of, which is all aside from the truth. I had excellent care here, and I feel like when they say team, it's a team, and they did an excellent job. They saved my life. So over those days, it was just a state of paranoia. I mean, you know, I was still healing, but the body was so overly stressed. There was so many foreign substance. There was so much blood that wasn't mine inside of my body that it really took a physical and mental toll on me that is unbelievable. I don't know if anybody else has been through that, and if you've had a big surgery and been through that, I would love to hear about it. You could leave that down in the comment section. I would love to hear about it because it was a very scary thing, and I didn't even know it was happening until I snapped out of it. And that didn't happen until they switched me off of IV pain medication. And very quickly after that, about 12 to 15 hours, I was right back to Shauna. I'm sure you guys could see my scar from here. It does go a bit lower. I also have a huge one on my back. I will post some pictures of that. I got all this in the arm. These are all bruises. I had a real hard time with getting IVs, holding IVs. So then 2 days later, I ended up having to have surgery to have the PICC line put in, because if they needed to give me blood, they didn't even have a place to do so, because all these veins were all blown out over here. So I'm looking pretty bad. My body's looking pretty rough. I look like I got hit by a Mack truck. I mean, I'm trying to see what important things happen through them. You know, they just encourage walking, breathing. I'm still using the spirometers, doing breathing treatments. I'm very close to discharge. I'm eating well. I'm drinking well. My pain is still to go home with, so I don't know if they're gonna keep me another day until things get under control. I just don't want to be in a situation where pain is out of control and I'm not, you know, I don't have an option. I don't think I'm there yet, so we'll see how that's gonna take. Yeah, I mean, I can show you my room a little. Nope, actually I can't because I can't flip my camera. But I mean, I'll try to add other things. I know this is like a weird spotty update, because the whole thing has been weird and spotty mentally for me. But once I'm in my right mind, I realized I was amongst people that cared about me. They did an excellent job. You know, I might have not been so nice to some people that I love. Um, Not all due to necessarily to that, but I wasn't in my regular spot that I would deal with these type of things. And so I did miss out on some days of complete gratitude and awe of what God has done for me. And I just can't believe it. I can't believe that I have one lung. Oh, and I did get good news from pathology. So the pericardium, which is the lining around the heart, it's also the lining around the lung, but it's all one lining. It just falls in different areas of the body. So the part that was around my heart did not have any cancerous cells, which is excellent because that might change what the scene of radiation looks like. Of course, the thymus gland was completely removed, which I don't know if you guys remember, I showed you the bulging veins in my neck. Obviously, they're not there because there's no longer any tumor. This is from the central line, all this mess over here. And what else did I say? And mostly what was affected was the left lower part of the lining, as well as what had grew on top of the lung. So they want to target that area because what was on the lung was removed. What was attached to the wall is where there could be microscopic. So it's going to be mostly on my opposite right side, like down here, which is pretty cool because that might mean like a lower, field that I would need to receive that radiation. And I'm just grateful, and I'm still in awe. All the glory is God's, first and foremost, and forever. I just want to say thank you, and if anything more comes, or once I discuss the whole thing with family and I have more things to share, I will share them. I might post some pictures here and there. But other than that, I just want to thank everybody that follow me on this journey. It's just begun. This is the beginning, and I feel like moving forward, how I'm going to do